and welcome to this episode of Crate Conversations. I'm very excited to have with us today Judy Harzer. She is a visual and performing arts teacher at Brick Memorial High School, and I had the opportunity to meet Judy in person and have a nice conversation with her this school year, at the end of the school year, because Brick Memorial held their very first mural tour, and we had the honor of walking around the hallways of Brick Memorial to check out those murals. So, and at that tour, I found out that you are a teacher who teaches a very individualized class that really doesn't seem to exist anywhere else. So,
Yes.
I think first what I'd like to know is, you know, what's the class about, and how do students get involved, and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So about 2017, I started thinking about creating a class that was very specific to mural making, because I wanted to take the art outside of the classroom into a more grander scale and share it with the school. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. But I found that mural making, it's the largest initiative in the world right now, and it draws a lot of attention and just the sheer scale. I also am advisor for our art club, and so in the past years we've been creating murals, but just in our school, for our school environment, but maybe just a few per year. And I found that the demand was becoming really great. So I wrote a curriculum and proposed it to the district, and they approved it. And then I created this really comprehensive program where our students aren't just painting the walls. So they're learning art history, they're learning technology, they learn how to design, project, how to deal with clients. And we also work in collaboration with other departments. So it is by recommendation. Usually it's juniors and seniors. It's pretty intensive. The demand right now for murals is great, but also the list of students that want to participate is growing. So I am really excited about the success of it, because I just knew that it was something, you have to modify what you teach sometimes to cater to, what's changing in the world and to our students. So this year we had the opportunity, it was the first ever mural tour, and we unveiled 60 murals, which was pretty amazing. And we had the governor's office come, the innovation committee, they came, Mayor Crate visited. I mean, we were we didn't know that it would be so successful. So it was really for the families, because again, we're creating these amazing murals, and not all the families get to see it.
You could take home.
It's not. And so we're doing it to beautify the school environment, but we know we need to share these.
Right.
So it's gotten a lot of interest, and we've started to not only create within the walls of Brick Memorial, we're collaborating now. Old Brick also is implementing the program, and we're doing it in the community. So one of my students created, I think it was 9 mobile murals for Warren Wolf.
Great.
And then we did mobile murals for Freehold Raceway Mall. So it's just, I feel like the opportunity is endless. And I think, murals themselves, it's so impressive, the scale. And I think when people travel, we know Philadelphia, Asbury Park, it commands a lot of attention in community, and where there's art, I think it builds community. So
great. So when the students are able to take that class, it's not just a group of students saying, hi, we're going to paint this wall. There's a process that they have to go through. So how do they decide what they're going to paint? How do they design it? How do you just choose the space where they're going to paint it? How does that work out?
So there's a pretty comprehensive proposal process. So, but when they first get to us, it's a year-long class. I think they all think they're just going to paint on the walls, but they have to. First of all, we go through art history from cave art to the Renaissance to contemporary art, and we look at mural programs throughout the world and public art, and just the social, cultural impact of it throughout the world, and how it builds community. And a lot of times it's in sometimes compromised areas, but how once art is, offered into these communities, it just also builds economically more interest. Because we're not just beautifying it, they're trying to like relay a message, but you know, ultimately our students want to paint what they love, but they're not allowed to just paint something that doesn't benefit the entire school community. So they learn painting processes, they learn, like I said, art history, they learn Photoshop, how to project, and then ultimately we have clients, so people within the school can request different departments that they want a certain mural, or the student can propose their own individual mural, but they have to fill out an application and say why, how it benefits the school, where it will be located, when it will be completed, and they really are learning real-world skills. I mean, that ultimately, I want them to learn something that they can take into the real world and create a business with. And we've also had students that have successfully done that. We've had many, this year alone, I think about 5 of my students have professionally painted murals outside of our community. Yeah.
So it's not just painting on a wall. There's a whole process that goes along with it. Those students can then take that as a skill, not only a painting, but also a skill in understanding that bringing this art into communities, how important that can be to the community as well.
And also within the school walls, we want them to build, and it's also a respect issue because they are there beautifying our school walls. But they're not allowed, as much as they want to make political commentary, or, you know, it has to serve the whole school community in a positive way. And so they learn the difference with that too. I mean, public art in, you know, in an urban area, that's a little bit different, so they learn those differences as well. But yeah, no, it's really something tangible. You know, we often hear how art there's not a lot of consequence to it. It's not a money-making endeavor. Ultimately, that's not what we're focusing on, but they are learning real-world skills that they can create a business with, and you know, it can translate to monetary value. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So we had the opportunity to speak a little bit before this, and I know that we'll be speaking a lot after this, but one of the goals of at least my administration is that we are very interested in working to have the community come together for some sort of mural making and bringing art to Brick Township in whatever ways we think would be appropriate. So I'm hoping that in the future we can work together and have these conversations. So I just really, one more quick question about the program. You said that the students have to essentially apply to be in the program, correct?
They can apply, but it's usually by recommendation only. They have to have prerequisites, so because they have to have an interest in painting, and they don't necessarily need to know how to paint. We teach them all those skills. That's also, you know, a misconception. I always say the best artists aren't necessarily the ones who are just great at drawing, painting, or, you know, those skills. It's the ones that they have, you know, they're willing to learn. You can teach. These are all teachable skills. So we just want enthusiasm and persistence, because it's a long process. That's that in itself we've found is difficult for some of the students, because it's not instantaneous. You're not on, you know, you're not doing something on the computer that translates within an hour to an image. It takes a long time to prepare the walls, to, you know, project, to paint, and they have to learn to work collaboratively in teams. That's important to me as well. So, yeah.
This sounds like a fabulous program. I'm excited that it's at Brick Memorial, and that we're extending it to hopefully have Brick Township involved as well, so that we can have all of our students have that great opportunity. That'd be amazing.
And I love that it's getting attention, because I always say that I have raised my children in the Brick community. I mean, they're now 33 and 30. They went to Brick Memorial High School. And I feel like there is such a pool of talent and creativity. Right here. Here in Brick. And I feel like we give a lot of attention, which I have a son who is an athlete, and to the academics, and that is all wonderful. But there's that, that population of students that need this.
Yes.
And I feel like it makes them feel successful, whereas, in other disciplines, they may not feel that way.
Well, I am very excited that we were able to have this conversation
I'm glad.
today. I'm excited that we have the possibility of working together in the future to maybe do something for the betterment of the entire town. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank
That'd be
you
fabulous.
so much, Mary
Thank
Grace.
you so much for joining us today for Great Conversations. And please visit the Brick Township website and the Brick Memorial High School website. Do you have information there that people can see?
We
or?
will share it.
Yeah.
It's featured, I think, on Brick Memorial's website. We do have, I believe, an Instagram, and also
Excellent.
my mural program, my art club, they have an Instagram as well, so I'll share
Excellent.
that.
That'd be
Yep.
fabulous. So we'll have that up on the screen for you to check out. And thank you again for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.